my channel, and thank you so much for being here. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we're going to be talking all about the comparison or the battle of the stem cell or human growth factor serums between Osmosis and Le Mieux. I get a lot of questions about what the difference is and who they'd be good for and how they work and all of that, so that's what we're going to get into in just a few moments. But before I get started, hit that subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. All right, so we're talking, like I said today, about the Osmosis stem factor and the Le Mieux EGF DNA and the TGF booster from Le Mieux. Now, if you guys don't know what growth factors are and the importance of them, I did a whole Skincare Sunday live a little while ago on this exact topic. So I am going to go into a little bit of it today, but if you really need an in-depth, why it's important, is it for you, what they are, please click the link in the description box and watch that video. This one will make much more sense to you. Now, the reason why I'm doing a comparison between the two different product lines is because A, they are very similar. So because this ingredient, this growth factor ingredient, is so expensive, I want you guys to make smart decisions on which one you should purchase if this is up your alley, okay? So let's first start out with growth factors. All right. So growth factors have been on the market for a very long time. Honestly, this is not a new thing, but they are kind of, I'm just finding my notes, by the way. I have a ton of notes right here. They aren't a new thing as far as being used by doctors for burn victims. There's extensive research in using growth factors, all various different types of growth factors for people that have had very bad burns. Growth factors basically help the cells in the body to regenerate. It actually divides the cells, tells the cells to heal themselves and to really create new youthful looking skin or new skin. That's really what growth factors do. They're essential for collagen production, elastin, boosting elastin in the body, or in the skin, I guess I should say, helpful with pigmentation reduction, also calming the skin and things of that nature, but really also healing the skin, okay? That's the main point here with growth factors. Again, watch that video. I go into depth on where they're sourced from, how they get to where they're going to be, how they extract these growth hormones from the places that they've gotten them. So I'm going to start with Le Mieux. Reason being is because, as you know, these have been my growth factors of choice. Now, I didn't have them when I was gone for 2 months, and so I was sent this very kindly by Leah, and I will put the link below where you can get this as well through her. But she sent this to me, and she wanted me to try it out. So I have been using this for 2 months, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys my feedback on it and which one I went back to. So Le Mieux sells their growth factors separately. So they sell a EGF, which is a epidermal growth factor, and the TGF booster, which is a tissue growth factor. They sell them separately in 2 different serums. Reason being is that sometimes epidermal growth factors can be a little bit not great or concerning for acne-prone skin. So if you have acne-prone skin, I have a tendency to tell my clients to stay away from the Le Mieux EGF serum and just stick with your tissue boosting serum, so the TGF. The TGF booster, just real quick about it is a multi-peptide serum, so it has 4 peptides. It has 5 proteins and powerful antioxidants, as well as algae extracts and ceramide 2. So this is going to be essential for boosting collagen in your skin, okay? And this is going to be your first step after your essence before any other serums if you use this. This serum also works as a driver into the lower levels of the skin. So anything you put on top of this is going to drive deeper into the skin because of the very well formulated encapsulation process that Le Mieux is known for. So basically what they do is they load their growth factors onto a phosphorus, I'm going to try to say this correctly, a phosphorus lipid, and which is basically fat. It's fat soluble, so fat is able to penetrate the skin quicker and more easily than something that's more water-based. So they put it onto a fat soluble encapsulation process, and that's able to drive deeper into the lower levels of the skin and not just sit on top of the skin. So that's why this one goes first. So this not only is for that rebuilding of collagen, but it's also jam-packed full of these peptides, obviously these proteins that we're talking about. Again, antioxidants, a bunch of different antioxidants, and as well as ceramides. So this is really one of those kind of all-in-one serums to get what you want. Now, the price is high, it's $65, but this is a plant-based growth factor serum. So if you have a problem where some of the other sources come from, this might be a great one. Now, if you're only going to use one, why not just use the TGF? It's a great price point and you're going to get a lot from it. Now, the other one, which is the Epidermal Growth Factor Serum, and this is basically going to give you 53 amino acids. And amino acids, what they are, they're building blocks for skin cells, so they help regenerate those skin cells. It has sodium hyaluronate in it. It has for hydration, moisture retention. It has peptides, obviously epidermal growth factors, and it's like this big growth factor cocktail. So it has a couple different ones in here. This is going to be more for cell production. So this is going to be definitely more for the ones that are really concerned about aging. I think anybody between the ages of 30 and up should be using something of this nature, these two together. Now, this is a animal-derived growth factor. This is actually from a pig intestine. So, and what they know from research is that pig intestines actually are closely linked to a human, and they can be accepted by a human pretty well. Now, why these work so well is because of that encapsulation formulation, okay? So in my first video, we talked about that the process in which these growth factors are delivered is expensive. The extraction of growth factors are expensive. So usually any growth factor serum that you're going to look into is going to be usually pretty pricey, okay? But these bottles last me about 4 months. I keep them in my little mini cosmetic fridge. These are more hydrating, okay? So these serums are definitely more of a hydrating serum. You can obviously see that because of the other amazing ingredients that are jam-packed full in here. So I want to pull your attention to that because that's a big difference between this and the Osmosis. And when you look at the ingredient list on these packages, they are very, very short. So for me, I enjoy products that have very few ingredients in them. I know that they are potent. I actually, if you guys don't know, I know the owner and formulator of Le Mieux. Her name is Janelle, and she is, if you watch my Ask the Doctor series, you know she was a part of that. She is a brilliant, brilliant formulator, and I trust her, and I know that she makes these products for professionals, and these are just now recently able to be sold in a retail fashion like we're doing, okay? Like it's now sold. So these are very potent serums. You don't need a lot, but again, they are going to be hydrating. Now, I think all skin types could use these. Oily skin, I might just stick with the TGF, but for the most part, most skin types can use this, except for, I'd say, acne-prone skin should stay away from the EGF, okay? We will get into the skin cancer claims at the very end of this video, so stick with me. Now, let's talk about the Osmosis. Now, the Osmosis is $140, I believe, $140 or $150. Now, my notes on here basically talk about they also have a superior delivery system. Now, Dr. Ben Fuchs has been in this game for a long time. I don't think he's in this game to trick people. I really don't. And so I believe him when he talks about a product, okay? You might think that, yes, he's trying to sell his products, but he's also trying to encourage and educate people. That's just how I personally feel. So when I hear him talk, I do trust what he says. So what this says is this, what they say that makes this unique is that beyond having higher numbers and a more complete collection of growth factors that result from combining fibroblasts and stem cells, we have evolved our growth factors. This means we have perfected a way to complete the growth factor manufacturing process by creating exomes. I'll tell you what those are. Exomes are protective envelopes that surround each growth factor, allowing it to have a longer life better penetration, and more activation at the receptor site. And that is basically what they're talking about, is their delivery system, okay? It's very similar to the Lemieux's delivery system. Do I think that it's superior? I don't quite know, because we don't really have real good data on that, but I do know that the delivery systems that Lemieux and Osmosis has been tested. They hired an outside company to test the delivery system. It's not peer reviewed, so that's important to a lot of people, but I know that it has been reviewed by outside sources, not just by the company, and it has very good results on penetration. This, by the way, is a human growth factor, okay? So that's also a stark difference between the two lines. Lemieux's is animal and plant. This is a human growth factor, but I'll get into it. It also does have plant in here as well. So they also want to address why they chose to use growth factors. And they say, Osmosis says, we choose to use growth factors because we can obtain hundreds of them from stem cells. And if you don't know what stem cells are, watch my first video, and it explains all about that. And when applied topically to the skin, we can encourage multiple cell type growths to repair and replace damaged cells. Advanced technology utilizing exomes that encapsulate growth factors and proteins increase penetration and stability, and activates more receptors to enhance results. Over 600 different skin growth factors derived from adult stem cells create this magical serum that improves all aspects of the skin, aging skin and damaged skin. So this also, obviously, as we talked about, growth factors help in new cell production, new cells to rebuild collagen, elastin, heal hyperpigmentation, and reverse aging, okay? Now, there is a huge difference in the ingredients in Osmosis and in Lemieux, okay? So first of all, like they said, 600 plus growth factors that are stable and three-dimensional. They also have an HGF, which is a hepatocyte growth factor, which enhances wound repair. They have TGF-B in this serum. They also have FGF, which is a fibroblast growth factor, which increases the number of collagen manufacturing cells, along with increasing its production levels, as well as PDGF, which is a platelet-derived growth factor. And I misspoke earlier, I'm so sorry. There's none of them are plant growth factors. They're all adult human growth factors. The list of, and if you actually watch my first video, I talk about vascular growth factors, and that is also in here as well. I mean, the amount and the abundance of growth factors in this serum, in my opinion, is pretty impressive, okay? Very, very impressive. Now, do I think that there are more growth factors in the Osmosis serum? Yes. Now, is the Osmosis serum as clean as the Lemieux? We're going to talk about 3 ingredients in the Osmosis serums that I'm not super into. One being witch hazel, which if you watch my Ask the Doctor series, I'll link it below, and so you can see what the pros say about witch hazel. Some say it's no big deal, some say it is. It's going to be up to you. There's also lemon oil in it, so that can be sensitizing to some people, as well as benzyl alcohol. Now, that is towards the end of the list. I don't know why he put it in there. I would actually love to know what the purpose of having that drying alcohol is in there. It's got to have a purpose. He wouldn't do anything to hurt the skin. So I'm just a little, confused by that. Now, my kind of overall thoughts is this serum is more for oily skin. Honestly, there's no hydration to the skin. It literally soaks in very quickly, but when I was using this, I was missing the hydration of my Lemieux products, okay? When you add both of these up, 110 and 65, they basically are the same price, okay? So if you use both of these, it's basically the same price as this one, okay? So there's no real difference in price. I just think that Lemieux breaks them up because sometimes some acne sufferers can have problems with certain, ingredients. I just don't know if a dehydrated skin type, this would work for you. Now, having said that, Since this has so many growth factors in it, I have been kind of going back and forth. I know it's excessive and extra, but I have been basically using TGF first for the hydration and all the other things we talked about, peptides, ceramides, proteins, algae, all that good things. And then I have been using the growth factor after my vitamin C, you know, with a little bit of spray in it, and that has been working nicely as well. So end all be all, it's going to be a personal choice for you. I wanted to break down the ingredients. You can see that the list in Lemieux is ingredients are they're very, very small. They don't break down exactly what growth factors are in there, but you know, you know, in their growth factor serum, I think that Lemieux could add to the list of growth factors in their serums. I think that she does a great job formulating, but that's the thing, you know, the thing is hard. It's like, do I want all of these amazing other growth factors? Or is it a problem for you that the osmosis growth factors are human? So it's really honestly going to be a personal choice. Lemieux's products are cruelty-free, so they have been cruelty-free sourced, the growth factors from that. And you know, if you're a vegan, you know, they have a plant-based TGF. So it's going to be a personal choice. Do I like them both? Absolutely. For me, these three are such great holy grail growth factor serums. I think growth factors, it's never too late to start on growth factors. I think they're such an essential part of the at least wound healing process or the collagen production process. Now, there has been a lot of studies like I talked about, okay? There has been a lot of studies into growth factors. People will tell you, like regular dermatologists will tell you, there's not enough research into growth factors. That's just really not the case. There has been so many studies with these types of growth factors. Now, there might not be studies exactly on these products, but that is going to be for you guys to decide. Now, there is something that I talked about in my first video where I urged people with skin cancer to not use growth factors of any kind. Janelle from Lemieux had stated that she did not find it to be appropriate because of the cell mutation that inherently is a growth factor. So it could potentially have the effects of mutating maybe some dormant skin cancer cells that you have had or things of that nature. Now, if you've never had skin cancer, don't worry about it. Now, there's other people coming out by saying, oh, it's not going to work, you know, that's no big deal, you know, that's not true. So I want you to talk to your doctors about that, okay? I want you to talk to your dermatologist. I want you to talk to your your cosmetic plastic surgeons or whoever you go to, but make sure they're a skin expert on skin cancers. So that's why I say go to your regular doctor and ask them, is it appropriate for me to use growth factors? Because everybody has their own story and their own situation, and I don't want to make a blanket statement. So please ask your healthcare professional if this is a great product for you or ingredient for you. So I hope this didn't confuse you more. I hope it made the decision on which one to choose beneficial. And I will see you all on the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Mwah. Love you guys.